Okay. Okay, so let's take a vote. Terry Granger,
Yes.
Steve Bergen,
Yes.
Todd Lewis,
Yes.
Adam Jones,
Abstain.
Jim Spencer, yes. Anything else for us, Steve?
No, that's all for me, man.
Do we have any other old business we need to discuss? What about the property on Tennessee Street, where all the concrete's at? Nelson's been cleaning up his mess.
Nothing's been done on, Tennessee on, 7809.
Yeah.
No,
You been by there, Steve?
they sold the house right next to it,
Yeah.
and that person is wanting to try to find out so he could buy it. But that's all hearsay, I don't know.
Speaking of the house, did those issues
You've been by that property?
Tennessee.
Oh, because it's not that mud.
Well, they pulled up the concrete and just left it.
Yeah.
The foundation's just laying
Oh,
there.
yeah, that's what I don't want to decide.
Yeah, he said he was gonna reuse it.
Wait, so 78 commercial?
Yeah.
Like the way that it was.
He said something. They tore the concrete up. It's laying
I
high.
didn't know if that had
Is
been
it
resolved.
a little north of West?
On the west side?
On the west side. So this is 7809 right here. Oh, the one just was, okay, 7805.
7805.
Yeah, since the last time we dumped, they tore all the concrete up, just laying big piles.
Oh, I haven't noticed that.
Oh, the house is there.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, it was on Friday.
Yeah.
Some of the block was left, and they said they were gonna try and use the same foundation.
They destroyed all of it. All right. Any other business? Anybody have any business for this board?
Motion adjourned.
I second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
See, treated and see in there.
Okay, so now, we're gonna have to,
I see that.
Yep, yep, we did the,
They're all required.
Uh, 7805.
Yeah,
Yeah, 7809 barn.
Is this
It's close, but it was scary, yeah, because the town actually was the owner of the one you're talking about. So that would not have been. Oh, yeah. good.
This is.
Good hack.
Yeah.
Well, that would not have. Maybe 300. Like you make big lines.
Yeah, right.
They're ready to be in the next meeting.
yeah, I was just gonna tell them why. Yeah, they have, I don't. Like that. Not.
I can check on my. This is,
They're gonna subdivide. Right. Survey what she has. See if she's already done fill out. We got this schedule. Planning and zoning.
Yeah.
Right. After we were out of, title company, and all the time, just get out of that. They said, we asked them to separate the property, because it was done. They said it could be done one of two ways, and we sell the property or, separate prior to.
With,
So.
yeah, what?
Is it?
I didn't realize how
I
many.
think it's one time listed for
Yeah,
sale.
Well, I just.
Well, because you don't know what we started.
Oh, so it's just. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that list, but then you can get potential fire. Adam, you want to see that?
I don't have enough paper.
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't have enough insurance, you can actually split it to the board.
I guess that's the risk you're willing to take.
Yeah, but we got
And I think it's for town, that's that,
So,
so.
It's in Okay.
So I don't know if you have a file for that.
It doesn't really matter.
You guys do it.
They get it.
I think she just puts it in like a file.
Yeah. They'll recommend to the board. Yeah, but also.
Call the meeting to order. This is the October General Town Council meeting. Steve, you have the invitation? Yes. Followed by the pledge.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Pray that you would guide this board, direct our steps. We want to be in sync with you. Pray for this community. We pray that good things might transpire. We ask you your blessing. Thank you in the name of Jesus. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Steve. We're going to change the agenda up just a little bit this evening. I know that we have several people here for a portion of it that at the moment fall.
Can I take roll?
Yes.
No, you need to wait until the end of the meeting.
Yeah. After we're gone.
Okay, Joe Scott,
Here.
Tom Roberts, absent. Tammy Sample is absent. Steve Brogan
Here?
and Adam Jones.
Here. Joe, I understand you've got a couple of proclamations that you want to present.
I'm gonna read a couple of proclamations. I know that people pass away in Millville all the time. Most of them were great people, But two people tonight have been here, they graduated from the school. They've done so many things for the school. Them and their family's been close friends of mine, as long as I remember. So I was honored to be able to get something like this started for them. Paul Leo Jackson, 1/18/1929 to 8/24/2020. Whereas Paul Jackson, a lifelong resident of Salem Township, served Delville Schools as a bus driver, served as president on the first Delville Community School Board, helped to start the Lions Club, and farmed for many years in Salem Township, as well in the town of Delville. Now therefore, the Delville Town Board recognizes Paul Jackson for his dedication and commitment to the Delville community. Dated this 13th day of October, 2020. And his daughter Mona is here. I'm going to give her this copy.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
I know most of you may not know my mom and dad. If you're not born and raised in Daleville, which I know we got a lot of transplants back in our day. We were all born and raised here and still here, so. But mom and dad both were born in Daleville, and my mother now still lives in Daleville, and dad's buried in Saunders Cemetery, where he was on the board there for many, many, many years. So he was a very humble man, but he did a lot of things. And we had a lot of comments about our funeral service we had. We put his casket, his barnwood casket on the flatbed wagon, and it was pulled through town and out to our farm by my dad's 1956 John Deere 720 that he had used and he had restored it with my brother. And then on to the cemetery, but we had a lot of compliments and stuff about that. And some of them were that Dad would have been embarrassed to death over all the fuss that was being made over him. But, and today he would be terribly embarrassed also, so, thank you, Joe. It's an honor. My mother is, just now realizing that Dad is gone after 72 years. Plus the 4 that they went together in high school. So she couldn't be here tonight. And my brother Dwayne, he's carrying on and he's out in the fields farming. So on behalf of my mother Mildred and my brother Dwayne, I thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Marna. Isla Pauline Antrim Reese, 4/24/1934 to 9/1/2020. Whereas Isla Reese, a lifelong resident of Delville in Salem Township, graduate of Delville High School, was instrumental in starting the Delville Christian Church daycare and taught at Delville Elementary for 20 years. Therefore, the Delville Town Board recognizes Isla Reese for her dedication and commitment to the Delville community, dated this 13th day of October, 2020. And Isla's son Mike and daughter Kristen are here. Want everyone to come in here?
Yeah, Dad's not real comfortable getting out yet, so Kristen and I came down for this, but yeah, Mom started teaching at the school when I was in 5th grade, which I thought was great. But I discovered very quickly that anytime I did anything wrong, she knew about it before I got home. So I was caught several times. Very appreciative of this award. It means a lot. My grandkids are 5th generation going to school here, so we're Delville people, always will be Delville people. It means a lot to us, so thank you very much.
And I'd like to thank the board for going along with this, also with the fine family.
Well, I myself am a fairly new resident of Delville. I mean, most of you probably don't know me very well, but indirectly, what your families have done and brought to Delville made it a place that I had known would end up and wanted to live and leave my mark on as well. So thank you. Okay. Approval of September council minutes next.
Make a motion, we approve the September council meeting minutes as written.
I second it.
All right, so what do I need to do next? I apologize. This is the first meeting I've ran, so it's going to be a little
On
bumpy.
something like this, you can call everybody's name or you can call for a yea or a nay. Up to you.
Let's just do a yay. All in favor of the meeting minutes as written?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? I think we're good. Financial reports is the next item. Put these over to you guys. Feel free to review as necessary.
This is what sent us.
Yeah, that's the claim docket, and then I think, do you have a bank rec up there this month or no?
It's on top. I think,
bank isn't it?
That's just, that if she may not have had a bank rec ready for you before she left, it usually takes her a little while. So you may not have a September bank rec.
We need to make a motion to accept financial report.
Make a motion, we accept the financial reports as given.
For September.
Oh, for September, excuse me.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Now we're getting on to the easier stuff. Department reports, sanitation,
Okay. Large item pickup is scheduled for October 22nd. And dumpsters will be set in our usual place.
We're gonna have 6 again, instead of just 3. It worked really well, Brad and them didn't have to go out and tamp it down as much with the bulldozer, so there'll be 2, 2, and
2 of
2.
each
Oh, two of
location.
each. Okay.
And I think that's all I have.
okay. Water is Tom, he's absent. Brad, are there any items of note?
No.
Okay.
Good.
Streets, Tammy, she's absent. As far as I know, there aren't any items of note as well. The only question I have on River Road, are those signs going to be changed to reflect the town speed limit change?
Did the orders get passed?
I
The
think
new
so.
orders on River Road?
I think all streets.
There'll be all streets.
25.
There's
Lower
25.
from 30 to 25.
Unless noted
Not
otherwise,
yet.
I think they're all 25, right?
Nope, they're all still 30 or 35, whatever. That's actually what the ordinance on next agenda was at.
Okay,
So, yeah.
so we'll take care of that in a minute. Planning and zoning,
Short meeting, not much discussed, be more next meeting.
okay.
We did approve the finding of the property owners of the
Yeah.
Kentucky property.
All right, police department, I did not get a report from the department this month, but regular contact with them, nothing out of the ordinary. Calls are kind of just standard ground noise as usual. Moving on, let me put this down here where you guys can see. Park department report.
My mom did not stay, she asked me to give it because the majority of the meeting was me talking to them tonight. So we have our festival on October 31st, and what she really wanted to make sure you guys know is kind of the setup of events for the day. So we're gonna have a parade down Walnut Street at noon, that's gonna kick off the day. We're gonna be lining up down at the bank about 11:30, so we're gonna start shutting Walnut down, probably about 11:30, 11:45. Once we get the majority of our parade participants there. And then we will have Walnut Street from Wayne to Daleville Road blocked off that day. I have let Brad know and I have let the police department know, so like fire and EMS are aware that that area can't be used, but they can route around easily, so they'll be okay. And they now have their new back drive to get them where they need to go. We will, after the parade, we will have a truck and treat. We will have a small little touch a truck up here with some of the emergency vehicles and some of our town equipment. We're running into a little bit of an issue on pumpkins right now. The farm that we normally work with doesn't have a pumpkin yield for us, so I'm working on that. If anybody has a line on about, say, 400 pie pumpkins, let me know. We will have food vendors, regular vendors, bounce houses, a DJ with music. And then we have trick or treat hours from 5:30 to 8 in town that night. And then just after trick or treat, we want everybody to come back down this way. And we will have about a 30-minute fireworks show to finish the night. So that's what the park has planned for that day. So join us.
And so you're leaving something important out. When I came in, there was a report, one of the vendors is gonna have deep fried stuff.
Oh, deep fried school pizza.
Deep
So,
fried what?
so show up, deep fried school pizza.
It'll be good, Steve.
Yeah, usually anything deep fried is. Trina, question. The trunk or treat, where is that going to be at?
That's why we're closing this section of Walnut Street down, so
Okay.
we'll have the vehicles lined up
The
up
whole
here.
street.
So the reason that we're using all of this is so that we don't have giant, large crowds at each thing. So we're gonna have people kind of checking to make sure that we don't have huge congregations of people at the pumpkins, at the trunk and treat, at the touch a truck, at the bounce house. We're gonna keep it as spread out as we possibly can.
And the trunk or treat will be during the trick or treat period.
Yeah, I don't know that they're gonna be here the whole time. I'm kind of waiting to hear back from them. So Daleville Community Church is organizing that. Jill Woltz, and she's kind of the queen of trunk and treats. And they have a lot of vehicles that want to participate. They really do everything big. She doesn't know how to not do everything largely and perfectly. She's good at what she does. So I need to get with her and the girl that's helping her do that on times. So I will put out a post on the Facebook page soon with a lineup of what will be here at what time for how long, so that everybody knows. And then I usually do an update like the day of as well, so everybody's ready.
That's the bank closed.
The bank?
Noon.
Yeah, they close at noon, and I'm gonna let the bank know too. They usually don't have an issue because I take us off to the side where, the renal care place used to be, but it's a closed down, business, so there's nobody there that we would disturb.
You have to pre-register for the parade. You just show up.
I have a registration form, there is no fee, but we do want people to pre-register, and the reason is because I don't want too much of any one particular thing. However, we're open to anything. If you have a golf cart, a cool car, if you ride a unicycle, if you know how to juggle, whatever you want to do. We have the Shriners coming. We already have some school groups. We have some baseball travel teams that are new to Daleville this year. So anybody that wants to join it, I think the bigger the better, the more fun it'll be. I really want this to be Daleville's thing. Everybody goes to Chesterfield for the 4th of July. I want everybody to come to Daleville for the Fall Frenzy.
Well, I did hear a rumor that Adam can ride a unicycle.
And juggle?
And spin plates at the same time.
Wow, on fire.
Really good.
Oh, I'm definitely sure that there's an Adam that can do that. So for anybody who's watching the live stream or watching it later, big things are happening in Daleville on Halloween. So please show up. Okay, so as my inexperience has shown, what we approved earlier that was supposed to be the financial report was actually the claim docket and payroll distribution papers.
Okay.
So I will take another motion that we approve the claim docket and payroll distribution reports as written.
So move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Tom, if you're watching,
First and the second then.
do not call me screaming at me. Okay, new business. Daleville was awarded the railroad grant. Those funds were for and are directly to be used for the marking of the railroad crossing on Tennessee Street. CARES Act reimbursement for payroll. We have been awarded a total of $53,499 for reimbursement to our general fund for items such as payroll and XYZ items that can directly be tied to use for COVID response or for employees who are, I guess, taken, affected, there we go, there is the word, by the pandemic. As of the writing of the note that Amy left for me, we have utilized 49,108 of those dollars. And we will finish our requests on December 30th. Joe, is that good for that?
Yep, well, you need to probably vote to introduce the ordinance and all that fun stuff. So,
Well, I meant the ordinance,
as far as the description.
CARES Act.
Yeah,
as far as the CARES Act.
that's exactly right. It's more of an accounting thing for Amy, but yeah, it's gonna allow you guys to get reimbursed for all the the regular businesses.
Okay, so I do not have, anything other than a note indicating that. Do we table it till next month? or-
Nope, I'd say at least introduce it today. So get a motion to introduce and second, then vote to introduce.
I'll make a motion that we introduce ordinance 2020-03, establishing the CARES Act fund.
I second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on, Humane Society agreement. This was brought up at the last meeting, where we now have an agreement tentatively in place with the Humane Society, where they will take care of or take possession of any animals that are brought here or made aware of, the town. The fees are pretty reasonable. I don't see any, essentially they're set up so that if an animal is owned and the person wants the animal back, the fees aren't to the point where the person will just decide the animal's not worth it. So I think we're good. I don't want to go into all the details because it's lengthy.
Can I ask you a question though?
Yes.
Does that also include, like, when someone calls my office and they say that there's a stray dog and we call the Humane Society, they will then come and pick it up? So we have that agreement again?
Yes.
Okay, all right, I wanted to make sure that's what that meant.
Yep. Yes. Yes. They will pick them up there or here. If we happen to have an ear like brought up here or it's in our kennel or
Do
whatever.
they have something in there, because in the past, what they've said is that the animal has to be contained for them to come and get it, like essentially they're not gonna chase it down Third Street to catch up to it, so do they need it to be, like, we've had someone put like a kitten in their fence or like in a box inside the house, or, obviously like a breathable box, but like, so that they could keep it, so that the animal shelter could come out and pick it up, so same rules apply then.
Those details are not contained in the cliff notes.
That just helps me.
I would only assume that's the case, because it talks about how they're just going to
Just pick up.
house, vet, feed, and maintain dogs that are picked up by officers or in the town, so.
Okay,
I think the assumption is they're not gonna act as animal catchers.
Correct.
They're just gonna take care of animals.
Now, I will say there's a few things in here that I guess at this point aren't really too big of a talking point yet, because we're still kind of working out the details. However, there's some things that the town's probably not gonna be able to agree to. The one big one would be like requiring all animals that are picked up by the Humane Society to be spayed or neutered before they can be reclaimed by the owner. That's probably not gonna work. There's a statute that will come into effect as of July 1st, or July 1st of next year, that'll require spay and neuter for all animals that are adopted. But for someone to pick up their own animal, I mean, that's a different story, and there's actually a whole separate body of statutes that address that. So there are things like that that are probably gonna be difficult to agree to, but we'll see how they feel about it. I'm sure it won't be too big a deal.
So what do you think we should do? Because until those items are worked out, I don't think we should agree to the agreement. Should we just?
Yeah, I mean, I think agreeing to enter into an agreement would be fine. I mean, basically that's, because all they sent was just this kind of list of terms that they would be amenable to. So the town's just gonna basically have to counter with their own terms, and probably a formal agreement at that point. And then I think the next meeting would be approval, any formal agreement that's hammered out.
Okay, so we could make a motion to agree to enter an agreement with details to be determined?
Yep.
Okay.
Just made the motion.
That was second.
Okay.
wait, I'm sorry. I'm trying to go along like we're the Williams. Okay, did you make the motion, Steve? And then you second? Okay, I can't read lips right now, so.
Well,
So we're
Steve-
making a motion
technically
to
have
enter
made a
into an agreement negotiation, is that basically what you're doing?
Steve threw his voice into my mouth. Okay. Laycock variance petition. is-
Wait, did you all say the aye thing?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Aye.
We're gonna get through this, Alan, I promise.
Well, when Tom gets back, he can take the humor out of it and we'll get back to more. Okay, so are we good? Or do you need a minute?
I'm good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Next up is the variance petition being brought forth by the Laycocks. And Joe, I was hoping you could help with this.
Oh, sure. So, these property owners requested variances from a few different things. So they want to put, an extra storage building on the property, which I think there's already one, and they need variance to allow more than one.
You already have them there, right? You have the storage building and a carport on one, and
They're
then a
asking
full
for
bar
a
on the
variance
other.
of an existing condition.
Well, yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it'll serve the same purpose in the end. They just need to show what they have now approved. Anyway, so the next one is a variance allowing, I think, a carport or, I guess, a garage, to not have a permanent foundation or a concrete floor. A variance, I think, allowing, a gravel drive maybe, does that sound right? And,
I think it's to have the pole barn on a property, a residential property where the main purpose isn't residential.
oh, yeah, that's the accessory use part. So they, yeah, the plan is ultimately to split this property up. So the residents will be on one parcel and then some of these accessory use structures will be on another, but that's for another meeting. All we're worried about now is just allowing the additional accessory uses and the, I guess, gravel floor and gravel driveway.
I remember these requests from the previous meeting. And it's just, this is just the process working itself through.
I make a motion that we accept the variances as stated.
I'll second that.
And accepting.
Yeah, you're actually approving the, yeah, so you're ultimately approving the
Approving, okay,
variance.
rather than accepting, I'll amend that as approving.
My second stands.
Second.
So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Getting there.
Yeah, one more.
One step at a time.
One more spot taken care of. All right, so I think the last item on the agenda is, now, are we approving the ordinance? Has the ordinance been drafted, or are we approving the modification to the existing ordinance?
The ordinance has been drafted, so this ordinance is amending your code of ordinances, which currently says something to the effect of, unless otherwise stated or marked, well, actually, it needs to be stated in the ordinance, but unless otherwise stated in the ordinances, all the roads in town have a speed maximum speed limit of, I think, 30 miles an hour. So I've noticed there's a lot of 25-mile-an-hour signs out there. So this is just making it so those 25-mile-an-hour signs actually mean something. This is literally just amending the ordinance to say, unless otherwise stated herein, all the roads in town are 25-mile-an-hour max speed limits. So that's it.
Got it.
We just introduce this again as well.
Yep, here's going to introduce,
I'll make a motion that we introduce ordinance 2020-05, amending chapter 70 code of ordinances concerning speed limits.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Or is there anything else that needs to be brought up? Anyone out in the audience have anything, or anyone on, watching currently on live stream that would like to be discussed? Okay, with that, I'll,
Make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
There's only three of us.
7:53. I like it.
Thank you.
It's gonna be home around 8:30. Should I go to Target or not?
Well, wait.
I can still see some of my suggestions, like if you don't want to get a ticket, you can just see. But if you don't mind, then.
You don't mind taking it? I mean, that's quickly,
A
the way to
little
look at
sticker
it.
on my car and post that might help.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I get hold of it.
Yeah.
And